It is September 8th, 2025, and you're in luck because a new Y2K just dropped. But it's okay because the internet is also dead. And in other news, the aggressive probe that's hurtling towards Earth is filled with mini probes. This is Inverted World Live. It's the final countdown. The doom economy is picking up, so we're happy to be back. It's Monday, so I hear, and we are glad you're here to join us. Welcome back to Inverted World Live, and I am your host, Shane Cashman. I just ran over here from Timcast IRL. It was a fun episode, so if you're joining us from IRL, hello. It's good to have you here. We're going to get into some Y2K 2.0 stories and this aggressive probe, which we've been covering pretty aggressively on this program. Every week there's a new story, and lo and behold, there's a new story about the probe. And this is a call-in show, so please do give us a call once our phone lines are open in about 30 minutes. You can call in and tell us a strange story, something about cryptids, abductions, sleep paralysis, shadow people, you name it. We want to hear about it. Or also you can call in and talk to us about something we've discussed on the show today or some other time. Aside from that, of course, I'm joined by Brandon. How are you, sir?
What's up, Shane? What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another week of madness. It's gonna be a weird one for me. Nostalgic today with this topic, but I'm stoked. So let's get into it.
Better times, Y2K. Just the word, like the phrase Y2K, is so hilarious to me. Were you worried about it when it was happening?
Like the original?
The OG Y2K?
No. It was really kind of like one of the first shocks I think I ever had as a kid of just like culture-wise, like just watching everybody freak out and buy all the water on the shelves and stuff like that. It was like, it was COVID, but at like maybe like a 90% reduction of madness, honestly.
Right.
Like I got to see 10% of that madness in 1999. And to me, I was just like, I think we're going to be fine. You know, like I was already messing with computers and stuff at that point, you know, like 5th, 6th grade. I want to say it was somewhere around there for me. And I just was not worried at all. I'm like, big deal. Like the clocks get screwed up. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
I felt the same way, even though I didn't have computers. I didn't have my own computer until about 2003 or 4. And we had no computer in the house. But even then, it seemed like people were freaking out for no reason. And, then we saw it again for the Mayan calendar. I didn't think that was a big deal. You know, I've got my things. I think CERN might have sucked the whole planet into a black hole in 2008, perhaps, but we're here.
Or maybe thrown us off our axis.
Or turned us into a sphere of strangeness, the phrase the scientists used when they were suing CERN to shut it down, and they lost. But yeah, Y2K is OG doom porn. And I was shocked to see it back in the news with this 2.0. So I guess let's pull up that tweet first with this little video about this prediction that will happen in 2038. Y2K 2.0 is happening in 2038, and so they say. And it's basically, we're running out of time. That's the gist of things. Let's tune in here. I can read it really quick first.
Yeah, go ahead.
From Mario Narwhal. RIP Internet, 2038 may be the end. In 2038, your computer might think it's 1901. Why? Because a huge number of systems will run on 32-bit timekeeping, which counts time as seconds since January 1st, 1970. That number maxes out on January 19th, 2038 at exactly 3:14 and 7 seconds UTC. After that, the clock snaps back to 1901. And anything like banks, hospitals, transportation, or your grandma's pacemaker could glitch, crash out, or crash or straight up stop working. On the flip side, if history has taught us anything, it's that we can do a pretty good collective job of ignoring any issue that's nearly that far off in the future. And now, what do you think about that?
It started off well, and then the second half of that post was just really over dramatic for me. Like,
classic
I don't
Mario
think
Narwhal.
people need to worry. I don't think your grandma's pacemaker is going to shut itself off and reboot because
Yeah.
I don't think that's how they built those devices. I could be wrong.
I am
but
worried about them getting hacked. I think pacemakers can be hacked. There was a thing with Dick Cheney when he had a pacemaker. They were worried it could be hacked by like a terrorist organization or someone else, you know, who just doesn't like Dick Cheney, like maybe the person he shot. But they were worried, like seriously took concern of it. But this, yeah, I mean, this is typical Mario Narwhal slop. It's probably written by Grok, and then like 30 people reviewed it and they posted it. And how many views does it have now? Because it's pretty, you know. 298,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what this girl has to say, because I do want to hear more about the prediction of 2038.
The internet has an expiration date. It's called the year 2038 problem, and it can break computers all over the world. You see, a ton of old systems keep track of time by counting seconds since January 1st, 1970, but they only use 32 bits of memory to do this. That means the clock runs out on January 19th, 2038 at 3:14 a.m. UTC. At that moment, the counter flips back to negative numbers. So what would happen is that systems that aren't patched would think that the date is December 1901. So imagine a hospital monitor, a banking system, or a flight software suddenly thinking it's in the wrong century. That could trigger crashes, data corruption, or total shutdowns. And we've actually been through something like this before, the Y2K bug. But this one's a little bit sneakier because it can hide in embedded devices like
Disclaimer, nothing happened.
routers, elevators, industrial
everywhere.
machines, things that people forget they need to update. We don't know how many systems are going to be vulnerable until the date gets closer. Some experts are saying the impact could be small, while others say it could cripple our critical infrastructure. So is the year 2038 problem the next Y2K panic, or the digital apocalypse that nobody's ready for?
You know, the music really sells it for me that she added. It makes it so much more believable. Spookier.
I'm stuck in a time loop. This is exactly how it all went down last time.
Yep. Time's a flat circle, you see.
We're not going to know until it gets close. No one's going to know until the damn second happens.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh, nothing happened.
Right. I think she's AI. I don't even know if she's real, to be honest.
Also, is she holding a mic or is that like her vape? Because it looks like she's just brandishing a vape
It might
the
be
entire
both.
time, and it's really hard to take her
The
seriously.
kids these days might have both. A microphone that is also a vape. That's hot on TikTok right now.
Oh, there's all kinds of shit in the vapes now.
Yeah, but I was going to pull up this article, and I had this AI overview. I love the AI overview of things like this, because it's sometimes so cold and callous and incorrect. While I pull it up, a little aside before I get back to this important subject. Last night, I was talking about fake clouds with some people. I decided to ask Grok what I've said or what I feel about fake clouds, and Grok totally lied about me. It even made up, like it understood that I don't like fake clouds, but it actually made up quotes, entire quotes that I've never said before. And I asked it why it did that, because it thought it could just get away with it. I said I never would have said that. It kept apologizing and saying that it just thought that that's what I would say, but it passed it off as if I did say it. Not cool. So real quick, the AI overview for this is that predictions for 2038 include potential human space missions to the astro. Oh, no, sorry. This is overall 2038. Where did it go? Oh, well, wow, this is actually more interesting than what I was going to pull up. It's predicting I've stumbled upon predictions for 2038. Polio eradication. By 2038, the world may have been polio-free for over a decade with the ongoing efforts to eradicate the disease. What does it say about social media trends? Some predictions have appeared on social media platforms like X, such as one speculating about the first openly gay president of the United States elected in 2038. This is AI making these predictions. Major tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google may face the challenges as operating systems and services become commoditized. Commoditized? Am I saying that right? Requiring them to adapt to maintain relevance, which will be them implanting it into your brain. That's by 2038, we will have in the brain. What else? What is AI predicting about AI? AI is expected to drive another transformation, building on the shifts of the Industrial Revolution and creating an even more tangible, bit-based, idea-based world of services where it crushes and devours all of humanity forever. Sounds about right. But basically, the AI overview was like, this is going to fail. It's basically saying what she says. It's going to fail. The systems are going to fail because they're running out of time, and they won't know how to tell time. And that my favorite part was that it will probably not be catastrophic. Probably. I always love that. But I was just going to read a little bit more about this. The apocalypse as the Register is calling it. Am I even... Okay, here we are. A stark warning about the upcoming apocalypse, also known as the year 2038 problem, has come from the past as National Museum of Computing System restorers have discovered an unsettling issue while working on ancient systems. Robin Downs, a volunteer who was recently involved in an exhibition of Digital Equipment Corporation gear at the museum, was on hand to demonstrate the problem to the Register in the museum's large systems gallery, which now houses a running PDP 1173, which is third generation series of like 16-bit microcomputers. So the machine's software had already been patched for the Y2K problem, where using 2 digits to store the year caused headaches when the century rolled around. Y2K, Downs explained, was mainly an application programming issue. Mostly, it was application programmers not taking into account 2 digits. The year 2038 problem is a different beast, indicating the PDP 1173, Downs said, this machine isn't running Unix, but we have a C compiler on it. And the C compiler is from 1982, so it has various issues. And if you understand that, call in and tell me more about it. Do you? According to Downs, a great name, by the way, the operating system was patched for Y2K in the late 1990s, but doesn't use the same time structure for its internal date and time. So the C compiler on this, already now, when you ask it what the time and date are, it gets it wrong. It returns the correct time, but the wrong date. So they're saying annoying but solvable. The team worked around the issue. However, when Downs was testing it by moving the system clock forward, something unexpected happened. He moved the clock forward to 2036, and everything seemed fine. Then, in 2037, a year before the apocalypse is due, the program crashed. It turns out, said Downs, the time function has another bug. Great quote. Undocumented, unknown, where at the start of 2037, any program that calls the time function just crashes. So we found the bugs that exist pre-2038 in writing this that we didn't know about. The year 2038 problem occurs in systems that store Unix time, the number of seconds since the Unix epoch, which was, like we said earlier in the video, January 1st, 1970. An assigned 32-bit integer, 64-bit is one modern approach. But legacy systems have a habit of lingering by saying everything is basically saying everything's outdated.
Yeah, no one wants to upgrade, basically.
Yeah. Everything's gonna die.
Yeah.
I like how they called it
that.
Ancient systems. You know, it's like
They're not kidding.
Yeah, they're not kidding.
Some of the software that a lot of these companies are using.
Yep.
And I've seen this firsthand. I can't disclose any of the companies, but I've seen this firsthand and worked with some of these with this software, and this shit is ancient. Basically, the way that this works is they will go and purchase. Say you had a successful business, maybe not so successful one day, decides they're going to liquidate all of their assets. Here comes a company that buys out basically all of their systems, maybe not so much the workers, but all of their systems and the software that comes with it.
Right.
If some of these people have developed their own software for POS systems or point of sale, they'll buy those programs too, get all of the information for them from how to run it, have their techs learn this information so that they can support it. And they try to push that as long as they possibly can to save money on their business going forward.
Instead of adapting, doing something new.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I mean, I see it everywhere. You know?
And these are big companies too.
Really?
Some of these guys, man, like big companies. So, you know, I really hope a lot of these people get out of the Stone Age, but this is part of the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving people enough of a time to look into this. If it's going to affect all these things that, like she was saying, you might not think to update like an elevator. I'm sure they're going to write a lot of articles every week.
No, yeah,
for the
like
next 10 years.
For us, this would have been like, oh, hey, Y2K is happening, but it's 1987.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a pretty big heads up.
It's a big heads up.
It's a fair sized heads up.
But just to pivot really quick, the internet is dead, and maybe it doesn't matter at all. And one of my favorite transhumanist psychopaths, vampires that lives in Silicon Valley, Sam Altman from OpenAI, recently tweeted about how maybe the dead internet theory is true. And that is interesting considering how closely he works with this stuff. And something Elon has also talked about. It was a big conversation when Elon was buying Twitter, because when they were talking about the value, what it was valued at, they would use like what people sell advertisements for anything on the posts. And, you know, you would find, I'm sure you guys have seen it, you'd find that a ton of posts were just filled with bots. So it'd be some major artist putting out a new album, and you go and look at the comments, and it's all bots. Another example of this, just from today, talking about this deranged murder with that refugee in North Carolina. You know, I was just looking around, poking around Twitter, and I found bots associated with that. Literally every one of them saying the same thing about finding the Irina video, right, about being stabbed. And I was looking to see if they had actually released the whole thing, because everything is just, it stops, right? And I don't really want to see it, but it's strange when you don't see the whole thing. They make me watch 9/11 happen every like 30 seconds on Twitter, and I have to see George Floyd, you know, pumped into my eyeballs all of 2020, and it was just odd to me that I couldn't see the whole thing, despite like I don't really want to see it, but I was curious, you know, who's posting it and who's making money off of death videos, because that's all we see on Twitter. If it's not Elon's porn, it is faces of death constantly. But anyway, hundreds of accounts, the same exact wording. And that's just like these bots I was talking about, on these artist comments or anything. They just say the same thing, step and repeat, same exact quotes. And so that affects, you know, how many people are actually viewing the posts that people are paying to advertise on, which then, you know, it was inflated because of so many bots, but it was really not that many people. So I'm sure you guys know about dead internet theory by now, but and we'll get into it in this article as we read it. But I think there is a lot of the population on the internet that is not human, and it's just bots. They interact with me all the time. You say one word, you say one trigger word. Israel is a good one these days, and it's just bots. Even if and they don't understand humor either. So if I made a joke about Israel, they then think I'm a certain type of way politically, and I get hit up by all these bots saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's kind of hilarious, you know. But anyway, Sam Altman saying that he's starting to see the dead internet theory. The OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote a tweet about the dead internet theory and was instantly informed that he was part of the problem. But what is the theory, and is it correct? So Sam Altman has expressed concern about the dead internet theory, and then he was immediately blamed for it. In a post on X, also known as Twitter, Altman noted that there seemed to be a lot of chatbots out there. And he wrote, "I never took the dead internet theory that seriously, but it seems like there are really a lot of LLM-run Twitter accounts now. 1 billion%. There are so many. So many. Remember when Twitter was first purchased by Elon, and it was all the porn bots, and it was crypto bots, Israel bots, Ukraine bots, you name it, all types of scam bots, African prince bots. They're everywhere. OpenAI's ChatGPT is one of the most widely used LLMs, so Altman's statement was met with derision from X users and commentators. This is in Forbes magazine, by the way. So everyone's calling him out. And the dead internet theory is becoming alarmingly close to reality thanks to the proliferation of ChatGPT and other LLMs. The dead internet theory was originally coined by a 4chan user who proposed that the vast majority of online activity was generated by bots rather than human users. I think that's true. The theory frames the modern social media landscape as an isolated wasteland inhabited by a few real people who are unknowingly interacting with mindless bots. And this is making me think of last week when we were being accused of having AI callers. Mm-hmm. Like, no dead internet theory on this show, guys. We surf the dead internet, but we don't allow it in the show. But I do think there's something to this. Like, I know there are real people out there, but my goodness.
I'm not against having a conversation with an AI bot, but
No.
we will inform you if that actually happens.
Fair
I
enough.
guess is really what I was getting at.
Good
We're
point.
going to tell you if we do it.
Yeah,
You know?
Good point. The theory frames the modern social media landscape. Okay, I read that. Sorry. The theory was originally viewed as something of an ironic conspiracy theory dreamed up by a single disillusioned internet inhabitant. But in the wake of the generative AI era, it has become something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, the dead internet theory is regularly referenced, often in response to the tsunami of AI-generated images, videos, and writing that floods the web. I also think what's fascinating about these bots is that they try to warp your perception of anything by using lots of bots. Like, so say you criticize Israel, and then bots come at you for criticizing Israel, and it's like a struggle session from bots. Also, some other people who are actually real and, also just don't like your opinion. But I think they count on a lot of people actually breaking under the pressure from so many bots. Happens all the time. Don't fold. Most of them are fake. I mean, you have, I'm sure you guys have a pretty good idea of how to tell them apart. Some of them are pretty good. I think I've got some followers that I've interacted with. They might be bots. But I can tell, for the most part, when they send me a message. And even then, I ask for a mother's maiden name, social security card, and all those things. Just to be sure. You never know.
Hey, really quick, let me get your social, bro.
Yeah. Before we interact any further, I need to know I'm in the living internet section of Twitter right now.
That's called identity theft, kids.
No. I'm not doing anything with it at all. Nothing the government wouldn't do. And anyway, all of our social security numbers have leaked anyway to the dark web as of last year. So none of it matters.
Guys.
Commentators are quick to point out the irony in an AI pusher. I like it. Like he's a drugger, like a drug pusher, drug runner, drug dealer.
Defamed female musician.
That's right.
Ex-wife.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah.
Forbes getting spicy. This drug dealer like Altman talking about the dead internet theory. Some users responded to Altman while mimicking the tone of ChatGPT, which has a distinctive writing style, often coming out with sentences that declare it's not X, it's Y, while endlessly flattering and validating the user. I've never used ChatGPT.
Neither have I.
I've used Grok because I'm trying to figure out how much it hallucinates, how bad it is at research. But it's fun too when I ask it things and try to make a collage of like some research, and then that's like a jumping off point to other things. But man, it hallucinates a lot.
I actually, our very own Kellen was in a production studio a little while ago, and he was messing with Grok for something, and I was watching him pump ideas into Grok, and Grok giving back responses, and then watching Kellen just be like, oh, because it's not exactly what he's looking for.
Oh.
And it was just something simple. It was just like it was like Cash Patel like wearing sunglasses and holding a pair of handcuffs or something, and it was generating the handcuffs out of his hand, like just floating next to him. And he's like, no, they should be in his hands. And then it generated another pair of handcuffs on top of that.
Oh, wow.
Over his hands,
Amazing.
but not on them. And he was just like, damn it. And I'm like, I never thought I'd live long enough to witness young people having a standoff with artificial intelligence for not producing something for them like they wanted it to.
Entitled. You entitled Kellen over there.
It was amazing.
No, I mean, I get it. It can be a great collaboration tool. The thing I like most about it is that I will write things and I will feed it into Grok, just to have it read it to me, because I don't pay for any I don't have any paid function app to read it. And I appreciate that, but it lies all the time. Just like, what did it say about me? It said the quote, "Sky's got more lines than a Hollywood script," was mistakenly cited as a reply by Shane Cashman to a chemtrails post on X. Upon review, no such post exists in his verified X activity or elsewhere in the provided time frame. It just made it up. But it passed it off as if it made it up. Anyway, some users responded to Altman okay, we read that. But I don't read the whole thing. Altman is not a good guy. And I like that he gets harassed. And I hate that he was part of the dinner the other night with Trump and Bill Gates was there. Still mad about that. And we should not forget that those people were invited. But how do I segue from this to the next? In other aggressive things happening in the world, we have this probe that's heading towards the Earth right now. Where is this article? I gotta find it. I might have lost it. Here we go. Nope. Do you have it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks.
You need it bigger?
I lost it, and somehow the article I have pulled up is Taco Bell is bringing back nostalgic items with Y2K menu.
Let's go.
Including chili cheese burritos.
Boom.
So it's positive Y2K news as well.
It's fantastic news.
Taco Bell is hitting rewind. All right, here we go. Manhattan-sized interstellar object, everyone's favorite hostile probe, it could release mini probes that hit Earth. I told you last week, every week there's a new story about this thing. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna and Harvard scientist Avi Loeb are calling for NASA to monitor the Manhattan-sized interstellar object 3I Atlas as it passes the sun on Halloween Eve of all days to ensure it does not drop off mini probes.
We're going to be here Halloween Eve, aren't we?
Is it this Halloween Eve it's happening? That soon?
I didn't see a year added.
Okay.
I'm assuming they mean this year.
We will be here for the probe watch. Everyone tune in.
Dude,
for
let's
probe watch.
go. I am so down for this, but although I might bring like a shotgun or something. You didn't hear that.
No, we have to. We got to shoot the probes.
Yeah, I'm not getting probed.
No, I'm not getting. No one's getting probed here.
Nobody probing.
Luna and the Ivy League astrophysicist appeared together on a podcast and called for both the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and Jupiter's Juno probe on probe violence to adjust their current courses and monitor the object that NASA has deemed a comet. So you see now.
That's obviously the word for tonight is probe.
Yeah. And now there's NASA beef. NASA's like, nah, it's a comet, Avi. And they're like, no, it's a probe, and it's filled with a lot of little probes. If we are visited by a technological object like 3I Atlas, it could either visit us or release some mini probes that arrive to Earth that appear as UAP. I love this story. This is my favorite story.
There was no in between there either.
That or
He's
that.
just like, yo, straight up, man. It's either going to visit us or it's going to release some mini probes.
This guy looks like he's getting probed in this picture. Like, what is up with this guy? Avi Loeb. I can't believe Luna's even talking to this guy. It's making it very little.
He's got mini probes in his head for eyes. Look at those damn things.
Is that a picture of him in the back staring at us?
Also, his last name is Loeb.
Probe, Loeb.
Boom.
Problem solved.
Instant connection right there. Scooby-Doo, pull the mask off, solved.
He is the probe. We got it. So this is what he told the Soul
Loeb
Foundation.
the probe.
Oh man. So yeah, I don't know about this guy, and now I'm highly suspicious. But he does have plaques on his wall, so I guess we can't discredit him. Can we go down a little bit?
I love the picture of himself right behind himself.
That is himself, right?
Yeah, that's
so there is a big one.
It's like a $50 bill. Like how there's like the little face in there. Like
big globe, mini lobe. And we need to be aware of that possibility, he said to the Soul Foundation. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
This is madness.
I asked the research team to monitor the sky after October when 3I Atlas comes close to the sun, just to check if there's any additional activity in the atmosphere of the Earth as a result of it releasing maybe mini probes. Dude. So in case you've never tuned into the show before, on the day Ghislaine Maxwell there were articles about her possibly being pardoned. Like an hour later, aggressive probe shows up from Avi Loeb telling us that it's going to come to Earth, and then it's nuclear powered, and then it's emitting its own light source, and now we got mini probes coming off of it. This thing is not going away. Luna, the chairwoman of the House Declassification Task Force, has previously urged NASA to exert the UNO orbital spacecraft, currently outside of Jupiter, to seize the opportunity and motor nearby the pathway of 3I Atlas. Is that the right word they wanted? Motor nearby or monitor nearby? Anyway, in the event that there is life, is it not our obligation to inform the public on that? Luna asked rhetorically on the podcast. Luna further teased major revelations to come from Tuesday's hearing on UAPs. That's tomorrow. And can you scroll down just a bit more? What else has we got here? She stated that the hearing will begin to address the claims of non-human and interdimensional technology. So I guess that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow, is what was said here. And
she looks like a wildlife cop, like in this picture.
She does, right? She's got like the thing going on. She's got to make sure, of course, she's unbuttoned the top. She looks like one of the agents from like a show like Fringe.
Yeah, Quantico.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the character she was paid to play. I don't even think Luna's her real last name. To be honest, take it or leave it, whatever you want. Can you scroll down a little more?
Well, you do think the moon is fake, so that's fair.
And so is her name. Luna is fake. we're actually going to be, listen, the AI write this? We're actually going to be going, okay, to basically the president to ask if we can get the access to programs that may exist within these different agencies, revealed, right?
It's not English.
This is not English. This is
not
written by a
English.
probe.
Yeah.
There's actually a large number of sightings in our area specifically, she said, referring to the Sunshine State's 13th Congressional District. And we've heard lots of stories from Florida. When asked if 3i Atlas could be the product of a non-human intelligence, Loeb pointed out that human beings are creating their own non-human intelligence, which will eventually have capabilities beyond our own, namely artificial intelligence. We are creating a form of intelligence that is superseding our cognitive abilities simply because it will have more parameters in the neural network we create, Loeb said of AI, adding, it's like giving birth to a child that is smarter than you are.
I don't know about right off the bat, smarter, access to more knowledge, yes.
Yeah.
But has the potential to be generally overall smarter than we could ever be.
Yeah, and he's got a point there about, I mean, I don't know if I believe it, but one of the big mythologies in alien abductions and these visitations when it comes to grays and people we hear from some callers with stories about is they believe that they are actually seeing the avatar of a creature that can't visit here. So they've sent some sort of AI avatar skin thing, like a skin suit filled with AI or some other non-human or non-living entity to conduct the probing.
A representative.
Right, but like artificial representative, to probe on their behalf.
Artificial representative. We've got to copyright that.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like Loeb's going to be disappointed if it's not a probe. Like, he's invested so much time into this, even though NASA's like, nah, it's just a comet. Here we see, a very clear picture of the probe hurtling through space.
Surrounded by about 8 glow-in-the-dark Frisbees.
That's how that is.
That have all been launched simultaneously from someone's backyard in front of the moon and then hazed out. I don't know.
Do you guys take the probe seriously? Like, am I just retarded? And I should be fearful of the probe? I just feel like this isn't the thing. This is Y2K 2.0 all over again. Loeb called out the scientific community for resisting an agnostic study of these strange objects, likening the urge to describe 3i Atlas as a comet to calling an elephant a zebra without stripes. Dude, this dude, he is emotional about the probe.
Agnostic, refresh me here, that's belief in a higher power?
It's belief in a higher power, but not really sure exactly what it is.
Right, okay.
So willing to believe in something, but open-minded about what it could be.
Sure.
3i Atlas, they got to get a better name for this. One of the biggest problems is the name
It
sucks.
sounds like a Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, they got to change that. Just call it like the probe. The big probe with small probes. The big probe will pass closest to the sun on October 30th, and then will proceed to retrograde from Earth towards Jupiter, which it will pass by on March 16th, according to NASA.
That's that.
And that's that. So tomorrow we will have, I assume, some updates on what is going on with the probe, with interdimensional beings, with abductions, with UFOs. So let's see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. You guys take the probe seriously? Are you guys worried about Y2K 2.0? I don't think so. But maybe some of you are, and that's fine. My goodness, I'm looking in the chat. Looks like you all are having fun because of the word of the day. So we should get to callers. If we got the phone lines open, we'd love to hear from you. Checking in on the chat, seeing what's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up really quick.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Take your time. It was a fun IRL tonight. We're talking about such depraved stuff. The video is just horrible. It reminded me of the story I just told on this show recently, although different setting, of the brother of a friend I had from home who was in the supermarket, and just some random person walked up behind him and slit their throat open, killed him right there. No reason whatsoever. Guy came out of the blue, just walked into, I think it was a Price Chopper. And I know, right? The name, it's ridiculous. Too soon, perhaps, but Dude, it's insane. It was insane. And then that night was when that Pulse nightclub shooting happened. But we've been inundated with so much violence. And it's like, this seems like it wants to be political. It's hard to know what's real. That's why I was searching for the video, because later in the day, there was that other video. It was like in the same video of the guy walking around with the blood dripping off of his knife. And they were saying he killed that white woman. And it's hard to know if that's real, you know? It really is hard to know what is real and what's not. And it's a shame that we live in that world. But, you know, the big other argument attached to that is just about, one is a National Guard thing and the other is capital punishment. And I can't get behind capital punishment. You know, I don't want the government to have the power to kill anybody. And I don't think it's a deterrent to crime. I think insane people are going to do insane things no matter what, despite the consequences. I don't want the government to have the right to kill people. I think these people need to be removed from society forever. But like, what do you think? Like, are you into the death penalty?
I'm not gonna say into. Like that makes me sound more masochistic than I grew up to be as a teenager. But I will say that there are certain crimes that are irrepentable, and in some degree, you have to wonder if rendering a lifelong punishment and this person being basically, you know, fed and kept alive on your tax dollar for, you know, 90 plus years, if they make it that long, you know, who the hell knows with people aging later and later now. You know, maybe you've just given this guy a free pass to sit there and now he gets to live the rest of his life, you know?
Is it a free pass to suffer forever or to take out his life?
It depends on if he's actually suffering. Some of these people known for, serial killers and stuff like that, wanted the fame, wanted to do their time in prison and just gloat about it, you know?
I get it, because when I wrote the story about catching those pedophiles, I wrote in the story, like, I was imagining a bullet opening up in their brain, like standing there in the field with them, staring in their eyes. I'm like, I want their brains to explode, you know? But I personally just can't get behind capital punishment. I want them removed from society forever. And there's many reasons. I don't think there's a deterrence to it. I don't know what justice does or what it looks like if you're doing it, just to kill and have the government kill. And then the problem is, like what you're saying, having them sit in jail and paying for that. I mean, I think, I could be wrong, last I checked, sitting in jail for the rest of your life costs less than death row. And then you could say, well, then let's expedite the execution. And these monsters need to be removed from society. But there have been hundreds of people on death row who've been exonerated as innocent, you know, thankfully, because they've been sitting there for so long.
Which is fine. That's the criminal justice system. I mean,
but
if it's working correctly, then those are correct, even though we all know that a lot of those aren't. But
it's not working correctly if they're on death row, you know, and then it takes like whatever team they're paying to look into their cases. They're saying we're innocent, despite what the judge and jury said, you know. And we've
I guess that really all depends on admittance of evidence and everything back in court, you know, whether or not a retrial is necessary if something was screwed up. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but yeah, I follow, you know, like some of these guys should never be allowed off of death row in the first place. Otherwise, why the hell were they put on? Yeah. You know,
I just don't think it will do anything. I think being in jail is a worse crime. I think jail, or this guy should be in an asylum. An asylum should be a massive punishment. Make him work, make him a slave for all I care. But I just can't.
I mean, let's think about the other side of this here. From a standpoint of some of these people, you think some of these people are actually inherently evil, like demons. Mm-hmm. I mean, do we consider them human?
No, but then that's a whole issue of like who determines what's evil.
Right. And also what laws apply to them if they're not actually considered human. Right. But I mean, like, that's getting way, way, way out there. Acid trip conversation, you know? But it begs the question, like, if some of these people are actually demons, like, why shouldn't we get rid of them? Do we really want that hanging around? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't believe in them personally, but I think that's an argument that you would definitely have something to chew on, you know?
I don't trust the government to do anything right, and taking a life
fair.
And giving the power to execute. I mean, I get the idea that it's a punishment. I think the more severe punishment is making them suffer forever, as long as possible. but there has to be suffering. It can't be some nice jail. It has to be
No,
actual
that's what
suffering.
I mean. Like, it's one thing they throw them in the hole for 50 years, and feed them pellets,
Right.
but I mean, that's never going to happen because they have these rights now as incarcerated peoples
Yep.
that say that they have to be treated better, than they deserve to be treated,
Yep.
basically. And that state and whoever, your dime, my dime, our taxpayers' dime has to pay for it.
I also think we need to have these judges held accountable. The people who let these monsters loose 14 times. Dude was saying he had a man-made implant in him that was causing him to do these things. Like, he sounded schizophrenic and obviously a threat. But these people need to be held accountable too for allowing this to happen constantly. But let's see. Before we get to callers, this is people hate when it's. I've been getting a lot of hate for not being pro capital punishment, but I'm trying to look at it from lots of different angles, from my not trusting the government to my religious worldview. And then you'll say, well, the Old Testament has capital punishment. That's the Old Testament.
I mean, I walk a very thin line with it, but I think it's a necessary evil. I think it needs to be there. I think it needs to keep people in check.
I just don't think it does.
Having nuclear deterrence. No, sure. But what happens when people realize that they can just go out and kill 60, 70, maybe plus people, even more than that, one or two, even less.
Yeah.
It just decides that they can go out and murder willingly.
Right.
And there's going to be no real punishment for it other than you get put up, in a super small bed and breakfast for the next 60 years of your life until you die a timely death.
Yep. I get it.
Possibilities of parole always out there. I mean, I don't know.
Asmo says you can't tell me a rifle bullet costs more than incarceration, sir. And it's because they sit on death row forever.
Yeah.
It's so long. So if you accelerate the speed in which executions happen, then it will be cheaper. But then you run into a problem. Like, this person seems like he did it, and I can understand that argument is easier to swallow. But for a lot of these people, you just don't know. I think the justice system is so corrupt and two-tiered. Look how they treated Epstein, and look how they treat, just anyone else who runs over the speed limit or doesn't pay their taxes. We can't trust the system. I don't trust the prison system either. I think it's totally destroyed. And, it wasn't great when they let out all the criminals for COVID. Tundra Tire says Shane, lowercase punishment, Cashman. I just can't. I personally can't. I can't get behind taking a life for a life, doing an eye for an eye. I prefer making them rot and suffer, but you have to make sure they rot and suffer. But a lot of people are saying the other, and I expect that, and that's fine. But I think that's going to become a bigger conversation. And I think people are going to want to push for accelerated executions. And that's where you're going to fall into a problem, especially with AI going the way it is. And then they're going to show you videos and be like, we have proof. And when it gets better and they get you emotional online and it's not real, we run into a huge problem.
I mean, not even considering that, if they botch a case and send somebody away wrongfully and then find out later that they were innocent, but they've already executed this person, what's that going to do?
We've done that already.
That's going to be like more accelerated, like, holy shit, the system is completely broken. It needs to be overthrown. And then you're talking about anarchy, cats living with dogs, the whole thing.
That's right. Well, if we've got callers, let's do that.
Yeah, sure. Let's get to, let's bring on Stephen Wolf. Stephen, you're on the show. What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
What up?
What's going on?
I was listening to the show, and I guess it was probably about a minute or so behind. So that's why I didn't hear you guys right away.
Oh, it's all good.
So I was listening to Tim Cast earlier when you guys were on, and that Bill Gates butter, that's some pretty nasty shit.
Yep.
So the swamp butter, we don't want swamp
good.
butter.
Oh yeah. So we pulled that up on this show a few weeks ago, but Surge tonight saw that in the background.
Oh,
when they're
the
walking.
slop. What did it say?
water.
Slop water. Yeah,
Slop water.
Slap
Yeah.
water.
I saw that part.
Incredible.
Horrible slap water.
Incredible.
Nobody wants to eat that fucking garbage.
Nope. But they're gonna force it down your throat.
Oh, we've been eating it for years. We just don't know it yet.
The fake clouds actually rain slop water, so we're all
It
screwed.
rains slap water, and they're gonna force it down our throats. It's gonna be horrible.
Nice. Oh man. So what's up?
No, I'll tell you what. I would never take that shit. Thank God I live in the countryside where we raise our own animals and slaughter our own animals, and
Yep.
it's just the way it is. I could never live in the city where the crime's so fucking high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard Tim was saying earlier about bringing National Guard in. I was National Guard for 6 years, and I was in Army Reserve for a year. And I can tell you right now, if you put National Guard in these cities, you have a couple of troops walking up and down a block or something, ain't nobody gonna be doing nothing.
My argument is that the problem is so bad, and there's so many psychopaths and like these mentally diseased people that I don't think anything will stop them from doing it. It might stop certain types of crime, but there's some insane people.
The argument on IRO was specifically for the city of Chicago. He shouted out Baltimore and said, "Hey, you guys kind of suck too." Realistically, the argument was that Chicago people and the argument that guy made in that tweet post is that people there are different and our gangs are different. They united with the police during COVID to shut down people coming in. They literally arm in arm, the gangbangers joined the cops.
Yep.
It was unprecedented. We'd never seen anything like it in the entire time being in Chicago. These are the kind of things that those people will do there. And I can tell you right now, that city, that is the first city on the list I would say is going to do something bad.
The city's corrupted. That's how you know it's all corrupted.
Yeah, which we've known.
Remember when our former president sold the Senate chair? Or was it? Or it was when he left, Blagojevich sold the Senate chair.
Dude, this is going this goes all the way back to the dailies, man. Like the dailies.
Oh, I remember.
The whole thing was a syndicate. I mean, say what you want about it. There's been organized crime, like Tim said, in Chicago for a really long time.
Yep.
It built that city.
That whole place is run by freaking organized crime.
Mm-hmm.
I went through there once back in 2011. Me and a buddy of mine were driving out to Bozeman, Montana, because my buddy was moving out there, and he wanted somebody to ride with him out there. And he had gotten out of the Marine Corps, and he drove literally from California back up here to Pennsylvania. And he was home for like a month and a half, and we decided, hey, we're going to drive out to Bozeman because he had a buddy of his from his unit that was living out there and going to school out there at Montana State. So he's like, hey, you want to go with him? I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. So we drove out there like a day and a half, 2,100 miles. And like we drove through Chicago, and it seemed like you go through toll after toll after toll after toll going on I-90 up through Chicago. And it's like, where are these trolls under the bridge? You figure one of them's going to pop out at some point and freaking rob you your money or some other shit.
90 is really weird. That's the only place that's the only one that actually like runs through the city. And the exits are very sketch, and so are those neighborhoods I used to work in them. So yeah, you're definitely right. There's some shady shit going on in that area.
Yeah, I've been through there one time, and I don't ever plan on going back.
I've never been actually.
You're not missing a whole lot.
I do want to go, but it doesn't sound all that safe right now in certain parts. But parts of it sound amazing.
But
I've been to DC twice. First time was my 8th grade field trip. Second time was January 6th.
Hey,
but I never got caught up on that bullshit with. I was smart enough not to go into the Capitol for one. But they were still going after people that didn't even go into the Capitol.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you were in the vicinity; they'd go after you.
Yeah, I was, and the only thing I did was carry a 75-year-old guy who got hit with a freaking rubber bullet or whatever.
Yeah, terrible.
I think he got hit with that, or he got hit with the gas stuff, because you could smell CS gas and shit everywhere.
It's disgusting. It's crazy what they did. It's crazy what they did.
Which was on the west side of the Capitol. They were shooting canisters of that shit, and you could just smell it. And it's like, There's this one guy got hit by it, and I literally carried him down to medical attention, and that was it. I didn't do anything else.
It's what they did after all that and opening up the little police headquarters all over all over the country, and then arresting grandmas. Totally insane.
Yeah, that was disgusting and horrible and sickening. Watching that shit go on. Hey, I'll tell you this too. And I was in the Oath Keepers, and Stuart Rhodes got arrested. And he didn't go into the freaking building, and he didn't tell nobody to go into the building.
Yeah. And what was his name from the Proud Boys, who wasn't even there?
Oh, Joe Biggs.
I wasn't thinking of Joe. Tario. Tario.
Yeah.
He was not there, and they got him.
He was not even. Yeah, that guy wasn't even in. The leader of the Proud Boys wasn't even in D.C., and they went after him.
Yep.
And they were going after the Oath Keepers. They left weapons over in Virginia, which is perfectly legal.
They don't care. They
don't care.
We were looked at. Everyone who voted for Trump was a domestic terrorist, and that's
pretty much.
They just wanted that. And feds really accelerated what happened at J6. Everyone, I'm sure a lot of people saw those videos of. It was like Antifa dressed up as MAGA, and they were trying to break stuff. Nope. And then real MAGA was saying, "Don't do that. Don't break the windows." And then there was a lot of people walking through.
Down there when I was down there at the Ellipse, and I was listening to the speech, because I'm telling you right now, that whole road was so full of people. I mean, there's probably about 3 or 4 million people down at the Ellipse. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
And a lot of those people after the Trump speech left and went home. Like the minority of people went down to the Capitol.
Yeah,
so,
they wanted it to happen. I always think about
it was absolutely planned. I mean, there were people that were out in the street. Like when we first got there, like we came in from Virginia.
Yeah.
And we came in on the subway or whatever the hell, and we came out like right next to where the White House is and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some whacked out people that were there that were dressed up like MAGA, but they were not MAGA. You could tell if they were not MAGA.
Dude, the whole thing is infiltrated. The government infiltrates everything. Any sort of counterculture, they want to hijack it and destroy it and then turn it into their enemy. But they're their own enemy.
It's MK Ultra. It's Operation Mockingbird. Operation Gladio.
Yep.
Absolutely. Alex Jones was right again. Put some more money in the Alex Jones is right jar.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at history, you see that this is their pattern. They do it to everything. They did it to the anti-war movement. When the anti-war movement was clean-cut dudes who dressed nicely, and then they dosed everyone with acid, turned it into a hippie movement, and discredited the whole thing. And then their cherry on top was Charles Manson, a soldier of MK Ultra, and then they Gladio and what the years of lead. What NATO did in Italy. It is just nonstop. So I like to think about when these situations happen. Who does it benefit the most?
Look what they did up in Michigan during COVID. They got those
Governor
people
Whitmer
to go along with the fake
Fednapping.
Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping. Yeah, the Fednapping.
Yep.
And then those people out in what was it? Was it Washington State or something? There was a group out there that they have. Don't they have like around the country? They have people that just like dress up all the same, like they're in 511s.
Yeah.
And stuff, and they all wear the same stuff, and they go out and they do these different things, like these different demonstrations, and they're supposed to be arrested by the cops, and the cops let them go.
Yep. Real quick, I just want to shout out everyone who is joining us from IRL. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Inverted World Live. We are talking right now about J6 and the government hijacking every counterculture movement ever, just to infiltrate and destroy it and turn it into their own enemy, which is what they do always, no matter what. And but we also talked about some hostile probes and a new Y2K.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from those probes. Those probes are horrible. They're coming at us with probes from everywhere.
That's a good Trump.
The aliens want to probe us. The government wants to probe you. It's so horrible.
Incredible. It's a great Trump.
Oh my God.
Well, did you have anything else to add?
Not really, no. But hey, it's good. It's good talking to you guys, and we will talk again soon. This is my second time calling in.
Oh, I remember
I
Mr.
called in,
President.
I called in a couple weeks ago when you guys were on. Hell, I forget what we were talking about now.
I forget too, but I do remember you gave us a wonderful clip of the president saying very nice things about this show.
Absolutely, Shane. You're doing a great job. You guys are fantastic. We love Inverted World. It's absolutely an amazing show. Don't forget to go after those silverbacks and those Sam Squanches. You know, those fucking Sam Squanches are horrible. We got to go after them. We got to get rid of them.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
Absolutely. You guys take care, and we're going to clean out our cities and make America safe again. It's going to be absolutely incredible, believe me.
Thanks, Steven. Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Later, guys.
Later, man. I'm just going to hit up a few chats real quick.
Jesus.
He's such a good Trump.
I can't do it, man.
Such a good Trump. Someone, Jay, I respect your POV on it. I think we're talking about capital punishment. My take on it, that I'm anti-capital punishment, but I think capital punishment, Jay says, needs to be used in the harshest of circumstances and publicly done in order to prevent those predators that know exactly what they're doing. And I get it, because I despise these monsters that wreak havoc and kill the innocent. I just don't see any evidence that capital punishment, especially done publicly, does anything. I think, but I do like the argument for making it public. And one of my favorite essays to read about that is Notes on a Guillotine by Camus from France, obviously, and talking about what that should do. And if you're going to do executions, do them publicly. And I get that. I'm not on board with it because I don't want to do capital punishment. So I don't think the government should have that right to kill people. I don't trust them to do anything. I want these bad people to rot forever in a cell. But I don't think there's been any proof that this deters crime, because these people will kill no matter what because they're bloodthirsty. I don't think they can turn it off.
Well, one quick way to find out whether it's deterring it or not is to stop doing it.
Stop doing what? The executions?
If crime goes up exponentially after you've stopped doing executions, there's your answer right there.
Right.
That's the missing number that no one's ever seen. It's never been there.
We have 25, I think it's 25 states that have executions right now, 150 countries that have outlawed it. And, you can take it from every angle. I do not trust the system at all. But I get that these monsters have to be removed from society. So I understand how complex it is. That's my take,
I mean, so even with all of this going on, we got to remember that we still, you still have the right to be judged by a jury of your peers. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, it's not just these people that are making this decision. It's a jury too. Now, whether or not the jury's been gotten to, swung in some way, shape, or form, paid off, that's all shit for, investigation on a timely basis, based off of whatever crazy ass case is happening. But there's still that factor in there. That means that the public is still having a say-so, and these are randomly selected people, randomly selected American taxpayers that are brought in to make these calls. So
they let OJ walk. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work.
Well, when you got Cochran and you got a bunch of idiots that don't realize that some things shrink in the washing machine, I mean...
Right. David Flora says the system is effed. It shouldn't be the government, but the armed populace that stops these demons. I've seen real demons. There's no rehabilitation. We, the people, must protect themselves. And that's where I'm coming at it from. We need a completely armed and prepared populace. We need to fix these cities, I think, from the ground up for long-term solutions.
Yeah.
Like, I get sending in the guard and want to clean it up. I want to save lives. But I think, like I was saying on IRL, what's a sustained occupation of a city look like? And what happens when you remove them? I think it just goes right back to violence. I really do, because I think it's human nature, and you can't turn it off.
It's going to be like getting out of jail.
Right. And there's recidivism is huge. A ton of people go back to jail all the time. It doesn't look good. So I think needs to be we need to obviously refund the police, better policing.
See, that's the thing is I think the view here is skewed. I don't think they're going in there to try to deter this and prevent this from happening in the future by putting a fist down now. I think they're going in to try to put a dead end halt to the shit that's going on and try to, at the very least, get it to just stop in its tracks for now until something can be implemented.
And there could be a moratorium. There was a 12-day moratorium on murders in D.C. recently because of the guard, and then there was a murder. But then you could say there was a 12-day moratorium of murders under a wicked person with no National Guard, Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York City in 2015. And then you can look at a demon like the governor of New York right now, Hochul, who put National Guard in the subways a year ago. And she says that crime's gone down, but like, I mean, they're raping corpses on the subway. They're lighting people on fire. They're stabbing people. They're throwing people in front of trains. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this problem's way beyond just trying to fix it.
Let's take a look at a quick statistic here. This is over the course of Labor Day weekend in Chicago.
Oof, I don't even want to know.
58 people were shot. At least 58 people were shot, with 8 fatalities reported. The violence included multiple incidents, with some areas experiencing significant casualties.
It's insane.
That's just a holiday weekend in Chicago, and looking at this number right now and living there for over 30 years, I can tell you that's a low number.
And I think
that's good news.
Yeah,
when you see that, because you're like, oh, only 58 people. Wow, we're doing better. No, it's still absolutely horrible. So
yep, that is insane. I don't know. I think it's so hard. Like, the long-term solutions are going to be, we have to rebuild a family. You know, so much of what's happening in a place like Chicago is the rampant fatherlessness, nihilism. These kids are inheriting a world that hates them. They hate the world. I mean, I think they feel like the world hates them, and a lot of them probably do because of the things they get into. That needs to be fixed. And this has been decades and decades of a real war on the nuclear family in Black culture, in white culture. We see it all the time, and we have to start repairing it from the ground up and building a better local community and better local policing that cares about their neighborhood. You know, and I get this trying to strike and take it out, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term solution, because I just think human nature rolls on no matter what. David Flora, you said, thank you for the super chats, by the way. I tagged you in a story from Brunswick, Maryland today that I never heard until today. Life plus 20. Shane, I agree. Men should remove the scum because we're all armed. We should all be armed. So there was something else. If someone, I don't even want to say it, but someone did something bad to my children, would I still not want capital punishment? And obviously that is incredibly hard to say. And the things I want to say, I probably couldn't say on this channel right now, because I wouldn't let the government handle it. But I don't like the government to do anything. I don't trust them to do anything. They've done nothing but ruin everyone's lives. They're a cartel. They're a terrorist organization, and they always want to trying to save us. But national security only there is to secure the elites. And I like to see Trump help these cities out because there's just widespread violence. But it's hard to say, you know. I would like to think that I'd be consistent, but I mean, if in that situation, I mean, you kind of have to take the things in your own hands. There's a video on Twitter that goes around every now and then, especially on Father's Day. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then that's my answer. I think did I miss any super chats? I think I got them all. But that's it. Maybe we'll get back into that a little more. But it's just so much insane stuff. This whole year has been so much violence, and I think that's every year. You know, my grandfather was a cop in New York City in the 70s, and he would literally say we had a dead body every day. Not that he killed it, but that they would just come across these crime scenes every day. Constant
If it
murder.
wasn't that, it was homeless people just dead on the sidewalk.
You know, the 70s in New York City were horrible. And the president, I forget which president it was, but he refused to even bail the city out because they're also going bankrupt. And, you know, it seems like we're getting back to that place in New York City. I mean, Chicago's a different beast. You know, I don't know it that well. I understand the gang violence is insane, but it's, you know.
Some of these people aren't even in gangs. These
Right.
people are just dicks.
I meant to say that on IRL when we were talking about gangs attacking the National Guard. Is like you're saying, I don't know if it's only going to be gangs who want to attack it. I think it's just people who don't care.
It's a lot of the time. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's not. I'm not expecting the Latin kings or the Ambrose or the almighty popes to come out in a showing against the National Guard. I don't see that. They're going to worry about their territories. They're going to do things that gangs have always done.
Yep.
I'm more about the people that are just going to say, all right, fuck this. It's anarchy. Let's do it our way. Yep. And then you've got this mass unruly mob of people that are just going to be committing shadow hits against National Guards, American people.
There's a history of that happening too. I mean, look at the Civil War, which gave us posse comitatus, by the way, afterwards during resurrection. During I can't even speak now. Resurrection. I can't even think of the word now. All I'm thinking of is resurrection.
Urban Civil War kicks off. It's anywhere. It's going to be in Chicago.
Reconstruction is the word I was looking for. Thinking of Christ, trying to remain Christ-like while thinking of demolishing monsters in my brain. But during Reconstruction, the Republicans did the posse comitatus thing, if my memory serves, to keep the military out of civilian spaces. And that's where this whole conversation comes in now. And it came up with Eisenhower during integration. Obama sent National Guard to the border, which I think is kind of a better... it was funny when that happened, the Republicans were mad that he wasn't sending enough. And I think that's a different thing because that's actually protecting the border of the country. I think McCain wanted 6,000 as opposed to Obama's 1,000. But I forgot where I was going with that. But the Reconstruction, Civil War, the March to the Sea happened. Sherman burnt down the South. And there were a ton of people in the periphery of the March to the Sea that stragglers that weren't a part of the March to the Sea took advantage of and went and burnt down everything, which I could see happening in Chicago in terms of people just taking advantage of the situation, not attached to any sort of gang or any affiliate of something, just people who want to cause chaos and violence. So that is that. Let's get to another caller.
All right, so let's go to Gian. And
Melchizedek, I hope I said that right, saying Christ forgave his satanic killers while he was being murdered. Yeah, there's a whole, this idea of redemption is a really tough one. I bring it up a lot on the show, and how I extend as a flawed human, how I extend that grace in a Christ-like manner to the most horrible people in the world, and I have a very hard time doing it. But I'll leave that up to God. But yeah, let's get to the other caller.
Gian, you're on the show. Can you unmute?
Yes, sir. I am here.
What's up?
Not much. Glad to hear from both of you.
You too, man. Long time no
Welcome
chat.
back, man.
Indeed. So I've been popping in and out today, and I feel like I don't know. I was called to call today, but you guys are talking about AI things and and different stuff. So what's the stories today? Because I've been trying to pop in and out.
Today we were talking about, I don't know if you've heard, but there's an aggressive probe that's hurtling towards Earth at this very moment. And when it gets close, it might actually launch mini probes at us. Mm-hmm. And then the AI stuff we were talking about, dead internet theory, and Sam Altman. And how did we get to AI? Oh, because of the Y2K 2.0. There's a prediction that in 2038, a lot of computers are going to shut off because they just ran out of a way to collect and tell time.
We also somehow slipped into the death penalty and something else that I'm not remembering.
That's right. That's right. So you can take it from there. Oh, real quick, before you do that, real quick, I just wanted to say I see some people asking in the chat. Sean, I see you. Shane, how do I call? I have the solution to capital punishment, the conspiracy theory to end all others. So the link to call in is pinned in the chat on Rumble. You see it up top. And on YouTube. So give us a call.
YouTube, it's like a white box up at the top of the chat. The link is kind of cut off if you have it not blown up entirely. It says our name up there. It's very obvious. If you guys aren't seeing it, let me know. I'll repost it.
There's some glitches now and then, but I did see in Rumble chat somebody posted the Zoom link, so hopefully they saw that.
Yeah, every now and then I get somebody telling me that like it disappeared for them or something. So weird shit does happen with it, but.
It's not us. We want the chat to be just free and open.
I'm showing it pinned in there twice on Rumble. I see it twice. So I mean, I don't know.
So take it away. You can tackle any issue you'd like.
Sounds good. So for the first issue of, well, I don't know if it's first issue, but the Y2K 2.0, that's fucking hilarious to me. Mm-hmm.
Like
everybody freaked out on Y2K, the year I was born, basically.
And,
nice. nothing fucking happened. Nothing ever. Oh, excuse me. Nothing ever happens. And so people freaking out about the end of the world is funny to me.
Oh, it's great.
But as far as the AI and like technology and where we're going with all of that, I think that like you guys talked about Terminator earlier, like you have to learn, you have to understand what's going on in order to fight it all. And you don't have to embrace it, but you have to at least like knowledge is half the battle. And that doesn't just mean like learning things, that it's actually comprehending and breaking it down.
Yeah, that's why I like Terminator 2. They're not total Luddites. They had to hijack a Terminator to send it back in time to destroy T-1000 to save them, to break down Skynet. Hopefully it worked.
Hopefully. Yeah. I just, I don't know. I think I try to tune into as many people as I can around me. And I think our culture is shifting. So I think there's a bit of a release, but we're obviously all still tense. So
how do you see it shifting? In what way?
Just a bit more calm. So I am tuned into my household and my community more than I am to the country. But as a member of the country, I feel like the tension is shifting outward, where before this year, before 25, it was more the tension was inward and focused on what am I doing wrong. And now we're just like, yeah, we might be wrong, we might do things wrong, but we're trying to do our best, and we're stop punishing ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to say I agree. I just don't know. But also that is a symptom of how much I have to look at the news every day. And, because there's people who are completely unplugged and they're fine. But it feels like we're doing the outward thing you're talking about, but also going inward. And I feel like there's just so many narratives collapsing in on themselves within each political party, and the just nonstop violence that is human nature and has always been happening, but now it's amplified so much. But also a lot of really big moments, from the Luigi Mangione, the exploding Cybertruck, the New Orleans truck who smashed through the crowd. We've had the guy who he shot up all those firefighters. We had the church shooting just recently. There was another church shooting like a month or two ago. And those are just the ones we hear about. We got this lady who was hacked up today or yesterday. And then the lady from North Carolina from August 22nd who was stabbed to death. And, is that because we're just the people who are terminally online are checking this more often, and then other people who are unplugged, not watching, and they feel more calm about it? I don't know. I feel like it's almost like the corporate press has completely died. They're actually like the dead internet theory, and no one's reading it. And the people are mostly on the social media platforms talking about these things, and that's where the news has pretty much shifted. And that's earlier on when I was on IRL, I was saying, because they're trying to delete this girl Irina's murder from the Wikipedia, and I think that the non-story is the story outside of just the violence, which is horrific. But it's like these people they don't want to report on something they would typically report on if it was the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, these journalists love to just stand on top of a corpse and write sensational headlines and make money off of that. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it can be very calm, but at the same time, it is completely chaotic. And we're still trapped inside of a 24/7 presidential campaign. I mean, it's is it still 2025? It's 2025, and we're like, every time
Barely.
JD Vance does an interview, yeah, barely. That's crazy. Every time JD Vance does an interview, it's like, are you the next president? Are you going to be running? Gavin Newsom's campaigning, but he hasn't really officially announced it. And we've been stuck since like 2013, 2014 in constant campaigning, and I think that drove the nation insane, honestly. So
For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, I hope we should also remember that there is calm out there and there's beauty, and we should take a note of it and appreciate it while we can, because life is short.
For sure. I have one response as a middle of the road American.
Yeah.
Man, I want the American dream. I want people to do what they want as long as they're not hurting anybody else. And the only reason that I'm aware of politics right now is because it was shoved down my throat.
Yeah.
It was shoved down my throat in Trump's first presidency, and it was shoved down my throat 8 months ago because I'm told there's these terrible things happening. There's these horrible things happening. You need to pay attention. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll pay attention. And I pay attention and I learn the facts. And it's the same thing that happened the first time where I'm forced to care about shit that I don't care about because I just want to go to work and come home. So it's the same thing that happened the first time Trump was president, where the entire media apparatus flips their shit and they actually do themselves a disservice because they activate people like me who don't give a fuck. We just want to go to work and go home. And I'm told I need to care about something that doesn't matter to me.
Yep.
So
not allowed.
Here I am now for the second time, and I'm not going to shut down this time. I'm not going to go silent this time. I'm going to keep watching.
That's it.
I'm not going to get fucking crazy or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be blindsided again to just accept whatever I'm told.
That's the point. Like they count on everyone being low information voters that don't have enough time to check the news, and then they made everything infected with politics. You couldn't escape it. You know, I, for some unfortunate reason, was born a political junkie. I don't know why I was obsessed with politics from a very young age. It's a disease. But like, but I was always trying to do nothing with. I didn't want to talk about it. I just like watching and reading about it. But then it came for the writing world that I was a part of and publishing. Obviously, long before I was born, it came for the college world. But then I became a professor, an adjunct professor, and saw just how bad it was. And then it was like they were literally attacking me. Like they were like, "Oh, straight white dude, you can't have these jobs." Literally would say that in the applications. So I'm like, "What the heck? Like, this isn't. How is this even real?" And then it was you're blamed for all the bad stuff. I'm like, I'm poor. I didn't do anything to anybody. So, but that was by design. Because they wanted politics to become your religion. They wanted to supplant everything that you ever cared about. They wanted to erase those things, and they wanted to replace it with politics as a false idol for everyone to get psychotic over. And that's why we saw in 2020, during the George Floyd riots, people burning down their cities because George Floyd, to them, was like a golden calf. And then the politicians were funding the bail money for these arsonists. They were bending the knee, literally and metaphorically. And it's just, that's where we're at. And it happens on the right too. The right is not immune to it. And you can see how MAGA acts like a monolith as well. And I am conservative and I vote mostly conservative, but like that party, the Republicans are a joke as well. They're spineless, and they also pretty much hate their voter base. Maybe two of them, one of them don't. But politics is just, it's unfortunate that we have to pay this close attention, but since they've infected every possible part of your waking life, and if you want to have a family, if you want to have a job, if you want to have a house, if you want to just go about your life, you kind of have to know what's going on in the world, because there is a war against you at all times. That's
100%. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you for keeping it real. Thank you for keep speaking on all the lies, and I appreciate all the truth you guys push out and all the media you're with. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Adios.
Was someone calling me a communist in the chat? Someone said Shane isn't a communist.
Yeah, I was like, it's the opposite. I think they were saying you weren't a communist.
Yeah, that's cool. I look, I've been recently called a Marxist for expressing my belief in freedom of expression that James Madison and Antonin Scalia both believed in when it comes to burning flags. I don't care. Like, I have these beliefs, and I love talking about them. And I think, I like the Bill of Rights, and I don't want to redefine them. There's been, you guys realize the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, have been, outside of all of the deranged violence, like the conversations on the right, they're very interesting and they're very important. But we've had some major conversations in the past just 2 weeks. Flag burning, freedom of speech, red flag laws, which I don't agree with. because I think everyone should have a gun and everyone's better. I'm not a classical libertarian, James Lee. I wouldn't call myself anything because I just hate every political party. I feel I'm conservative, but I don't really feel a part of any of these United States political parties. So they're all a joke. It's all a joke and it's all theater, and they all hate you no matter what. I mean, like last week I was telling you, I can't believe Trump had Bill Gates and Zuckerberg on either side of him at a dinner. That to me is saying, I still hate you. You know, these people censored you, suppressed you. They didn't want you to share information that might save your life or your loved one's life. They might boot you off parts of the internet forever. They want you to eat drink water, slop water and fake butter and block out the sun and vaccinate you till your eyes fall out. Disgusting. So I'm just saying, like, really, I don't think the left has these conversations. I tune into a lot of people on the left because I want to know what they're talking about, what they're saying about the people on the right, their worldview. But it's fascinating to watch these like bigger conversations go down in the last few weeks. And it's been fun to be a little part of them. So let's get to another caller. Renee, everything is fake. Yes, everything. That's what I've been saying is like, not everything is fake, but mostly everything is fake.
Really quick, everybody, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share the show with everybody you know. We appreciate it as we try to grow iDub.
Oh, yes, that is. And you guys have been the best. I mean, we hit 58,000 subscribers on YouTube last week. Thank you guys. We got a lot of subscribers in the past just 2 months that we've been doing the show.
And we are just shy of 11K now at our new home Rumble.
That's crazy.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Incredible. And I just want to say, like, there's a lot of stuff that are part of these conversations about violence, a surveillance state, that are going to start leading into, like, will you accept pre-crime? Like, do you morally think that's okay? Are you going to sacrifice your right to live in a free society? I don't think we live in a free society anymore, honestly. But you're going to give away any more of your rights for pre-crime, because that is coming. They're trying it in the UK. We've got it basically in AI lavender that Israel's using against Gaza, that I don't agree with at all. But it seems like it's moving towards that will be the next discussion. Mark my words. I really think that will be the next thing everyone's debating. And I think that's insane. You know, I think, unfortunately, there is a part to human life that has risk. I want innocent lives to be saved. We need to do everything we can. But to give the government and the police the power to look into you and judge if you're going to commit a crime before you commit it, that's some sci-fi dystopian stuff that I don't want to be a part of. And UK has already opened up their UK homicide pre-crime unit. They're testing that out. So I imagine that'll happen soon. You know, pre-crime, for those asking, I see you, Pick Pool, maybe is how you say that name, is where the government has access to all of your data through a system like Palantir, a data scraping service that consolidates everything about you online and offline into a database. And then they can look at everything you search and anything you do, your history and your present tense, and they can make a guess on your future and be like, he's probably going to do a homicide. He's trying to kill somebody.
Basically, the pre-crime stands for prediction. Mm-hmm. So think prediction crime. Like, before you've maybe even thought of it, they're already expecting you to do it based off of your data.
Yep. So it's going to happen. And I imagine it's going to happen soon because it's already happening in real life. You can look at what AI Lavender does in Gaza and how they let the AI determine who is going to die and how they do it. And it has a 10% error rate, allegedly. It's probably worse, honestly. They use a name, they have a face, and it uses what we think might be a Palantir type of technology. You can go look up, I won't do it now, I don't want to get to a caller, but you guys can go look up Peter Thiel being asked about lavender, and it's classic. He gets all choked up. Has nothing to say. But that's the future. And why do I think that's even more pressing? It's not just me like saying the UK is doing it and Palantir. It's like Peter Thiel and JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy, all these like tech bro types, Altman, Elon, they're developing that stuff and they're all around Trump. So, you know, that is the future. They're going to, and Ellison, look up Ellison talking about keeping the populace, the citizens on their best behavior with cameras. It's not looking good. And I'd like to stop it. But you could argue it's already really bad, which it is. But the more they consolidate all this power and the data into one thing, hooked up to a supercomputer and all the data centers around the world, it's going to be a social credit system. And it's going to be very bad. And it's not going to be a country of free people. And you could say, well, we gave up that already because we kind of have. We have the Patriot Act. When people would say, well, if you did nothing wrong, if you don't do anything wrong, what do you have to worry about? They redefine what's wrong every week. Every week. Look at how the left is. They redefine everything always. Everyone's racist. Everyone's a Nazi. Everyone's misogynist. You know, there is no moral center to these people. So what was right yesterday could very easily be wrong tomorrow. And then the pre-crime situation that they've installed will take you out. That's that. And it's going to be brutal. But we should get to another caller because it's already somehow almost 11:30 Eastern time. That's crazy.
Let's say what's up to Trump Quest. You are on the program. What is up?
Well, hello everybody. I was actually like looking at it. I was like, wow, are they going to let me on? I don't know. Hello everybody.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've had a long day, but I'm glad to be here. I heard about your show on Timcast IRL. So I heard about it. I had to come and say hello to all these great people. So hello to Shane and I mean, look at you, Brandon. Look at everybody on here. So handsome. Look at you. So great. No, it's incredible. So how are we doing tonight?
Mr. President, this is so good to hear from you again.
I know it's great to hear from me because, you know, people say, sir, if you're gone for 2 minutes, something bad has happened to you, sir.
Yeah, we thought you were dead.
For 2 minutes.
So you're not, you're alive. You're alive and well. There hasn't been no body double.
Absolutely. No body double. Not like Biden. You know, Biden had like 4 or 5. I don't know how many.
Mr.
all trip.
Mr. President, before, I mean, you might have a story you want to tell us and I'd like to hear it, but I do have a few questions really quick if you don't mind.
Go for it.
What do you feel about the Epstein situation right now?
Well, I think that I'm so sick of that stupid question. I think people already know the answer to that and that we're working on it. And we've got a lot of that already declassified and out there. You know, you've got thousands of pages that have been released.
They were all public. Mr. President, they were mostly public already.
Mostly public. Well, you know, you've got other things, but, you know, mostly public. We've got it mostly public. That's a great thing, actually. So maybe they'll stop asking me about it.
I can't help it. It's an important story because you ran on obliterating.
I can't believe we're still talking about this guy. Are we really still talking about this guy?
We're still talking about that creep. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Do you think? I think he's still alive.
Well, I'll tell you, no.
No.
All right, no.
You can confirm it. He's dead and gone.
I am going to confirm that tonight.
Okay.
I will do that for the peace of this entire room and
thank you.
Onward.
Okay.
No, he is no longer with us.
That is wonderful. Well, Mr. President, did you have a story or anything else you want to share with us? We're happy to talk.
Absolutely. So, I'm very new into the whole X space. So I've gotten into all of the X stuff, and I've been a TikToker. So I'll tell you my story. You want to hear my story?
I'd love to hear it.
You want to hear my favorite? And actually, I'm going to write a book about this very soon. Actually, I think it's very interesting.
Perfect.
So this is a real story about how I became the president after high school. So I was in high school, and I said, "Look at the world." As I sat there, I said, "What the hell is going on with the world? People are saying World War III is tomorrow." I said, "Absolutely not. That cannot happen." I said, look at Donald Trump. Look at him. He's running like nobody can believe. He's got all the energy. He's got the stamina. And I said, that's my guy, right? So I got into voice acting. Okay, I got into voice acting. I said, that's my guy. I'm going to learn his voice. I was a little bit of a gamer, because, all the people in my generation are either playing video games or doom scrolling on TikTok. It's not good. But, I think it's very interesting. I got out of that. I went into this little voice. It was not too bad. I'll be honest, it wasn't too bad, but it's improved over time. And then a little bit later after high school, I graduated. And that's when I was really following the politics. Every minute of every day, I was looking at a rally. I was sitting there right next to the rally. And many rallies go by the way. Many rallies, thousands of rallies. I've watched thousands. It's a lot. It's a lot of the same stuff.
So good.
But I learned all the information from it. I can tell you anything you want to hear, anything you want to know, any question.
Yes. Why do you have the Ark of the Covenant at Mar-a-Lago?
Well, that's a pretty tough question, wouldn't you say?
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen pictures of James O'Keefe standing next to the Ark of the Covenant.
That's true. I think it's nice. I think it's nice to have, right? I think it's nice to have.
Yeah, no, I
It
get
gives
it.
me all the good luck. But I'll tell you, and this is true story, and I'll write a little bit more about it, kind of the whole process. But it was at the moment, July 13th, 2024, when I was sitting on the couch and just doing my own thing, and I saw something that I can't even, I couldn't even imagine it. I saw that, whiz by my ear. I said, I can't take it anymore. I have to say something. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I saw that. And from that moment on, the Trump quest was born. That's what was born. We started the whole thing. I went to YouTube first. So I went to YouTube. I'm on YouTube, by the way. And I made a reaction video to a Tom McDonald song called You Missed. I think everybody's heard it, right?
Yeah.
You've heard it?
We've heard it. Yep.
It's famous. It's a great song. But I did a nice little reaction video to it. And I said, I don't know if this is going to pop off, but it did. It popped off. And when I went to look at all the comments, it blew me away. It blew me away. The amount of support, the amount of people that they had so many heartwarming messages for me and for the president. And that's how I felt. I felt like I'm taking this beautiful position as a voice actor to really see the messages from the people and feel it. And I felt so crazy. I just felt so crazy about it. I was like, these are my people. I have to, and I'm going to lay it all out in a book someday, maybe very soon,
You
hopefully.
should. Do you?
But I'm a very standalone person. I'm alone in this, right?
I mean, yeah,
I went
it's
into this
lonely up
alone. I
there.
don't have like a manager or anything else or a talent, anything. I'm looking. So if you've got anybody, that would be wonderful.
Do you think? I tend to believe that Elvis didn't die and became Donald Trump.
Oh.
What do you think? There's any?
You saw that picture, right?
I mean, they look a lot alike.
That's true. Well,
Same.
I don't even have to play guitar. I don't even have to do it. And when I'm on stage, I don't even have to play guitar. And I get, crowds like nobody has seen before. Crowds that they don't leave early, by the way. They don't leave early.
They don't. Have
But they're
you?
great.
Have you met President Trump? President Trump?
No, but that is my dream.
I think
I
he
would
should.
say
I
that
think he
is
should
my
hear
dream.
this. I think he needs to hear this. I think that'd be great.
I think, I've talked to some people, and I think, I've talked to actually many people. I've talked to people on X. I've talked to people on TikTok. That was where I started. After YouTube, I went to TikTok because I was like, okay, maybe I should figure out a way to turn this into my career. And I'm still learning on how to do that. And so it's a very long process. You got to watch every rally. You've got to do a lot of research. I do a lot of research, so much research that my head just feels like it's going to blow up at any moment. But
I'm not going to make a Butler
I think
joke.
we went into TikTok, and I went in there, and I did these live streams, and I said, what would be good? What's good content? And so I decided, let's do a town hall. I said, let's do a town hall. So I went live, and a couple people came in, and more people came in. And, before you knew it, I had thousands of people that came in, and they were saying all kinds of lovely stuff. Some people came in, and they were a little crazy. They're nasty people. Said a lot of bad things, right? They didn't want me to win. They said that they loved Sleepy Joe Biden. I don't know why the hell you would do that. Or Kamala. You have nasty Kamala Harris. Such a nasty woman.
Can you say China for us?
China. Is that good?
It's pretty good.
Is that good? I hope
Pretty
it
good.
is.
It was pretty good. You have this is a great voice. But sir, we got to move on to the next. If you could let everyone know where they could find you, that'd be great.
Absolutely. You can find me on X at Real Trump Quest. I just started that actually not too long ago. You can find me on TikTok at Trump Quest, and you can find me on Instagram at The Trump Quest. So it's been an honor to talk to you. Maybe we'll talk soon, even more. I don't know. I've got a very interesting story, but I do want to hear everybody's story. That's the whole reason I got into this business, to hear the people. So
that's it.
I'll leave it to it.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Mr. President. Have a great night. Incredible.
That's two different ones we've had tonight.
Both good. That one's really good.
That was pretty good.
It was really good.
I thought initially the first guy was the guy that we talked to first.
Yeah.
Because I remember everybody being like, oh, yeah, this guy's drunk. And then he just came out of nowhere. And I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
That guy was very good.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys, what are you guys thinking about that?
A lot of people in chat are kind of agreeing with that here.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's ridiculous.
That's amazing. He's got to work on his China just a little bit.
Yeah, China.
He's got to work on that. But like everything
give it
else, he was nailing it. And then when he said nasty people, great.
He's talking about one people in general, and that was Kamala.
Oh, it's great. This is the only show where you'll hear two President Trumps in one episode.
Neither of them being real.
I mean, or are they? Are they? Because, some of us believe Trump is a time traveler, and maybe something happened where there's two Trumps. It's possible, Brandon.
If this is your first time watching Inverted World Live, welcome. This is the kind of shit we do here.
It's late. It's 11:37. This is exactly what we do.
It's almost monkey burning time.
Everyone know. Oh goodness, it is. It's almost Tuesday. Everyone knows Trump was a time traveler, or Baron rather, and the marvelous. What is it? The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump or something.
Goodness
good
me,
book.
the monkeys are only flammable on Tuesdays.
All right, we got to do merch, guys. I promise. We've been talking about it. It's got to happen soon. Maybe we just set a date and we just okay, by this day we're going to have merch.
I'm actively trying to get like a skateboard design for Boonies too.
How's that going?
That is either I don't want to say too much. I've got a couple designs in mind, and both everybody would absolutely love. One obviously is going to pertain to our homie Bigfoot. The other one would basically be our chicken friends, one of them being stolen by a UFO right off the grounds.
Oh, that's sick.
I'm working
sick.
on that. We got to figure out like a T-shirt or something, something just rinky dink that we can just get out there with our logo on it, so everybody can have a piece of the show.
Yep.
But that is still going to take us a little bit of time as we navigate how the hell we're going to do that.
Seriously.
So,
you know what? I'm not gonna say it out loud because then I'll jinx it. But I have a date in mind, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna say we're gonna do it. We're gonna have merch. We're just gonna do it. Let's get to another caller, shall we?
yeah, sure. Let's go to Nate from Idaho, who claims he is not President Trump.
We'll see.
So this
about
is our best shot at not having a repeat third Trump tonight. Let's see where this goes.
Someone said we should have a silhouette of Trump for when Trump callers call in.
He actually had a scroll like laid out that I almost put up just for the hell of it.
Oh,
but he
nice.
had a scroll with like an angry cartoon Trump, and there was like a scroll thing underneath it. It almost looked like it was a live news broadcast.
Oh,
So
that's
I might
awesome.
put it up next time for you guys.
Did you see him though?
Physically, no.
Interesting.
No, just this crazy like little cartoon scroll banner that he had going on.
What did he say it was? Trump Quest?
Trump Quest.
Okay. Is a caller like replicating in there or something? Or I don't know?
No, our caller was here. He is
Oh,
just
sweet.
muted.
Okay, let's
Nate
do
from
it.
Idaho, can you unmute in Idaho?
Are you there?
Probe.
Are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, sorry. I got like a de-Googled phone, so I make my life difficult.
Hell yeah.
This is gonna be a major topic change, but
All good.
I do love your guys' show. I just found it recently.
Awesome.
I
Thank
found
you.
Shane like, I don't know, maybe a month ago, like on Twitter or something, probably one of his grok tweets. But I'm curious how much you guys have talked about dispensationalism.
Not at all. Honestly, maybe someone's brought it up, but it's something like I know little about. You know, the
Okay.
basics. But if you want, it's something I should know more about though. People getting into it a lot. I see Twitter, they get into these dispensationalist arguments a lot on Twitter. But if you want to help lay that out for us, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert, but I've been on my like conspiratorial journey for a while. My brother told me about 9/11, like maybe in 2009, and I thought it was a joke, and I started researching. That's when like YouTube wasn't filtered, and you could like see like hundreds of videos, and one thing led to another, and now I'm here, and I've also been like on my Christian journey. Started in like the typical like mega church, American, non-denominational, typical thing. Got into Reformed theology and Calvinism and all that stuff, and then eschatology, which plays into dispensationalism, was a thing. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. Maybe Shane around church, like when people talk about eschatology, they kind of sort of kick the can down the road. They say it's too complicated, or like I'll find out when it's over, kind of thing. I was that way as well. I started researching eschatology, and the main thing I want to kind of share with everybody is I feel like, so I'm knowledgeable about all the same things you guys talk about. I'm knowledgeable about giants. I'm interested in Bigfoot. They clearly do geoengineering, all these things.
Right.
Dispensationalism is super important because it's one of the key factors that's confusing everybody right now in the world, and like leading to evil persisting as strongly as it is. We don't have to get into like the controversial specifics with Israel and everything necessarily, but because such a huge majority of America is non-denominational Christian, pre-millennial and dispensational, it's put in everyone's mind this like framework that everyone's like seeing that's not there. Everyone's kind of ignorantly, I mean, with respect, kind of ignorantly worshiping Israel out of context, and which is allowing evil to persist, and also confusing people like on the other side of things with like the Michael Heiser stuff and the Elohim and like and the Timothy Alberino stuff. But the reason dispensationalism matters is because what I should say is I encourage you guys and everybody listening to put the time in to do a deep dive into eschatology and dispensationalism, to watch like debates, even if they're boring debates that are 4 hours long. They're all over the internet, and I highly encourage everybody to put the time in. That's the big thing. That's what I was getting at when people kind of kick the can down the road with this topic. They think it's overwhelming, and it kind of is in the beginning. But once I put the time in, like I'm talking like a whole year of just like, signal voice messaging my buddy back and forth and watching hours and hours of documentaries or, debates going back and forth. It really opened my eyes to like, to what's going on in the world and why so many people are so deceived right now. And obviously like my heart is biased for the church, as I'm sure yours is as well, Shane. and your conviction, I'm sure, of like how that like really is the truth, and that's like the truest thing in the midst of all these conspiracies and what ifs going on in the world right now.
Right.
But yeah, I guess my main point is I know I'm kind of just barfing. It's my first time calling in, but
That's all good.
uh,
Real quick though, like the dispensationalism, I just looked it up really quick. I know the word and roughly what it means, but I haven't looked into it so deeply. But it's like these different eras of God revealing Himself. Is that correct?
yeah,
Is that
like
like
so
a basic?
super lame. Yeah, super layman. Like there's this guy named Schofield. There's a book that I recommend people read. It's called like I think it's called Schofield and His Book,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically just paints a picture showing that this is one of the forefathers of this whole concept, and it was around the same time as Joseph Smith and Mormonism.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy has a lot of moral character flaws and really suspicious tie-ins with possible like Zionist characters back in the beginning when Israel was first created in whatever that was 48. And what I see from all of this is like a masterful deception from the adversary, like masterful, because he's taking, the good guys in, you know what I mean, just the Christians. He's taking all the Christians, and especially in this country, that's one of the most powerful and like influential countries in the world right now, and just taking this subtle twist on the reality of like the future and prophecy and this and that. And it's putting people in these really morally conflicted places where they're seeing everything that Israel's doing and they don't know how to feel because they don't understand. They're like, well, Jesus was a Jew and this and that. And they're super, super confused. And then meanwhile, you got other guys like me and you and everybody that's reading these Michael Heiser books and Timothy Alberino books. And we're seeing this like aha moment with like the Watchers and the Rephaim and the Nephilim, and
Right.
we like talking about like the hidden skeletons all over the world potentially and all this stuff, and it just makes this big like confusing mixing pot of mush, and you don't really go anywhere. And I think the key, at least one of the major keys, is thoroughly understanding at least the two arguments with eschatology and dispensationalism.
Yeah, it's something I want to look into more. Same thing I said about the Heiser stuff. Like I don't really know much about it, but I what I do know is that theology is very important, and everyone can argue till they're blue in the face on what's the proper way to even look at Christian theology. The Catholics have their ideas, and all the different Protestants have their ideas, and it's they're all. Some of them are a lot of Christians still view Israel in a certain way. And so when you talk about this conflicted feeling, they're seeing it as like we have to support the government of Israel no matter what, which obviously I don't agree with. And it's causing a lot of tension obviously in this country, but like even in Christian communities. There's people who don't want to they can't let go of just blind support of this country. That there's no bone, there's nothing, not a cell in my body that cares for Israel. Doesn't mean I don't love the Holy Land, but I don't care for Israel. I don't care for Netanyahu at all, no matter how many podcasts he does.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of you you remember the feeling of like before you realized a lot of these big things, like whatever, the truth about 9/11 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and or geoengineering, right? And then suddenly it's like this giant aha moment. I'm just encouraging people to put the time in and dig into eschatology. I'm obviously not saying I know the clear answer, because the truth is we really won't know until the end. But if you have some like discernment and some intelligence and common sense, and you watch a lot of debates and put a lot of research into like the main arguments, I'm highly confident that at least a majority of people are going to come out and go, whoa, that's what's going on right now. And that's why like everyone is so confused. Yeah, like I said, I think the gate that's keeping people from doing that is like the daunting task of putting the time in and researching eschatology.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you calling in, and please do call back. We'll continue this. We'll try to get to another caller before the end of the show, but appreciate that. And until next time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course, man.
Thanks, Nate.
Have a good night. Let's try to get another caller in. How y'all doing in the chat? Talking about
did we
probes?
miss anything
I was
here?
looking. I don't think so. But man, 2 Trumps in one night. 2 Trumps, one podcast. Sorry.
Yeah, there's some other stuff here, but we can get into this later this week. This isn't anything that's pertinent, really.
Yeah.
To the discussion, except for really quick. Let me throw this out there because I want to get this off the list. I really do. Cause of death revealed for Annabelle doll handler Dan Rivera. We do have an update. This is at least a few days old now. I remember finding this last week, but it turns out heart problems are to blame for the death of Dan Rivera, the paranormal investigator who died in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, in a hotel room while on tour with the allegedly haunted Annabelle doll. It was determined Rivera, 54, died July 13th, 2025 of natural causes as a result of heart issues, according to a press release from the Adams County Coroner's Office obtained by Today.com. That's all we really need to get into for that. Let us know how you feel. Do you think heart attacks are a supernatural or a natural cause?
But what if, are they attributing the heart failure to the doll?
There was no mention of this other than they said Mr. Rivera had a known history of cardiac issues which were consistent with the findings. Now, that is a very open and shut FBI sounding case to me.
And for those who don't know, like, y'all are aware that the comedian Matt Rife owns this doll now?
Yeah. So there's another little tidbit down here that said Dutra also confirmed the Annabelle doll, which is rumored to be possessed by evil spirits, was not present in the room at the time of Rivera's passing. Don't know if that matters or not.
Yeah. Well, if you guys remember earlier this year, Annabelle the doll was touring the country and just burning it down. Just burning it down left and right. It was worse than Black Lives Matter.
There were some tour dates that were reported that did not actually exist, though, too. So
that's also true.
She wasn't on like a world tour with like, Taylor Swift or anything. Yeah, it wasn't anything like that.
And she's actually engaged to Matt Rife now, trying to outdo Taylor Swift and whatever that guy's name is.
All right, let's get to one more caller if we can here before we get out of here. About 10 minutes left. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share the show with everybody you know. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's go to Senor Fatch.
Is it going to be Trump?
Spanish Trump, maybe?
Spanish
Trump. Senior Fatch. Unmute your mic.
Let's go.
I'm sorry, guys. You caught me while I'm in the snack.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can. Can you hear us?
Awesome. All right. So switch the topic from really tonight, but I was listening to a show from the other night. You guys were talking about dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
So this happened about maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys remember like that huge earthquake that happened in Turkey. I don't know when. It was like a few years ago, but it was like a pretty big earthquake.
Okay.
So that, like the day before, I had a super vivid dream, like unlike any other dream really, where I was like in this city, what felt like, like a Middle Eastern city kind of, and I've been to Turkey before, so I kind of like know what I guess the area looks like. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like walking around, whatever, and in the dream, I'm like, oh, what's happening? And like it felt like an earthquake. I was like, oh shit, like this earthquake happening, like in the dream, and like all this stuff's happening, and then like shit's falling around, and then rocks flying everywhere and everything, and whatever. I wake up the next morning and I tell my fiance about it, and then like I guess it was like the next. Like that same afternoon, like I ended up finding out that had happened. I was like, oh, what the hell? Like, that's crazy. So I don't know what kind of dream that is, but
yeah, I mean, we get these calls, people calling all the time. They have a dream where they've had some sort of premonition in the dream. And I mean, it's hard to discredit, we hear them all the time. I've experienced it myself.
Yeah, and it was like unlike any other dream. Like it felt like I was there, like could feel like everything happening. It was insane.
And is this is this referencing the one that happened?
And then to find out, like the same day.
Sorry, was it?
Sorry,
Were you
what was that?
referencing the earthquake from 2023? You think it was
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
few years
guess
ago?
so. That's when it
'Cause
was.
I'm
Yeah.
just looking at that's a huge earthquake. I mean, 50,000 people died. 7.8
Yeah. It was,
earthquake.
and when I found
Holy
out about it, I was
crap.
like, holy shit! Like that. It was like the same. That same like. I guess it would have been happening like the same time when I was having the dream because I went to sleep that night,
Right.
and whatever their time
Yeah, dude.
difference is, so it was just
There's something that happens in our dreams that we just can't describe. When I was writing a book in Georgia, I was looking through all these old papers, these old letters, written by people from, I think it was like maybe 1820 ish. There was a lady in this town who had some severe like headache issues, and they took the horse and carriage. Her and her husband. Her husband is some like major or something in the army. Went up like an hour north and was getting treatment, whatever they were doing. Who knows? Probably putting leeches on her brain or something. And then she wrote about having this crazy dream about a fire breaking out in the town they left, in their hometown, and the fire in her dream, as she wrote it down, jumped from one building to the next. And she woke her husband up. Her husband's probably like, "All right, Dorothy, yeah, sounds insane. Go back to sleep." And he went out and was like near some train tracks or something. Not train tracks, but there was a guy on a horse coming up from the south. And he asked him like, "Hey, what's going on?" He goes, "Did you hear about the fire that happened in that town of Washington, Georgia?" And he was like, "No." And it turned out that fire happened exactly how she saw it in her dream. And who knows, maybe it's all hoax and she was lying. But you can look at these papers in this old book, and it was pretty baffling that she had that dream. I'd like to think it was real, but you never know.
yeah.
There's also
I don't know.
hoaxes.
And people have dreams like that all the time. So, you hear it on the show all the time. So it's like, what's happening?
I
when
think
we're asleep.
I think we're able to plug into something greater than us, like some collective conscious imagination prediction machine that you get glimpses of. And sometimes you just get like that. You just scooped up the right image.
Yeah, maybe we're more connected than we think, and in dreams we just kind of are connecting with people in ways we don't know. Who knows?
There's something going on in that place for sure. But hey, man, I appreciate you sharing that story. That's
But
crazy.
you brought
one.
up a fire.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Can I give like 2 second story?
Yeah,
Go
we
for
got
it.
a few more minutes.
All right. So yeah, you brought up that fire, and that reminded me of like one day in high school, we had a fire in my house, but I like just for whatever reason decided to sleep on the couch, and I was like sleeping on the couch. My little dog was at my feet, and like I thought he was like, I don't know, licking himself or whatever, and I was like, stop. And it was actually the fridge had caught on fire, and I like looked up and woke up, and I don't know what happened, like the motor overheated and it caught the floor on fire.
Whoa.
So like I woke up and I saw it. I was like, oh shit. So like I ran upstairs and got my parents, but like if I hadn't slept downstairs, like who knows how big it would have gotten. So that's just like
crazy.
another one of those divine providence kind of things.
Yep. I mean, dreams are a big part of the Bible. There's some pretty major dreams that happen that help some people out. But that's insane. I can't even think of like, I know I've had some throughout my life that just I can't make sense of. I can't recall exactly what they were now. They'll probably come to me at 12:01 tonight. But I've seen my daughter have a weird dream about. I told the story a few weeks ago. She was asleep. I have 3 kids. This is my middle kid. She was asleep, and my son and I, my son's my oldest, were outside, and there was a dead bird on our porch. Got rid of it. No one knew anything about it but me and my son, and I think my wife at the time. And my daughter woke up, and she started screaming about a bird in her room. And it was just the strangest thing that this bird was now in her dreams, And maybe, someone would say it's just a coincidence. I don't really believe in those, but it was so bizarre that she woke up screaming about a bird. We didn't talk about it in the house. There was no way she knew about it. Really wild stuff.
Yeah, very weird. Who knows what's happening? Something's definitely going on, though.
Yep. Well, hey, man, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
I got stories for days for you guys. So
Well, please call back. You know where to find us. We're here Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock to 12 a.m. Eastern time.
all right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a
Appreciate
good
it.
night.
Later, man.
Have a good night.
You too. Oh man, oh man. Seeing if we've missed anything in the chat. You guys are killing it. You guys are going strong. It's wild. Yeah, dream. Who says this? Enlightened fool says dreams are a favorite part of my life. It's funny when people are like, I don't care about your dreams. I think they're interesting. I think there's something very interesting that's going on in our brains where we all go, and who knows what we see and why we see it. And some people don't even remember their dreams. I remember a lot of my dreams, but then I'll wake up and I'll be like, I know I had a weird dream and I feel really weird today, but I can't remember what it was. It's wild, but
I mean, that happens. That happens to me. I'll wake up and be like, holy shit, that was crazy. And then I'm like, wait, what was crazy?
right.
I literally will forget like, almost instantaneously
So
sometimes what the hell it was that I was thinking or dreaming about. And
What did I do?
I hate dreaming. It's obnoxious. I hate it so much.
Oh man. Well, it is midnight. Somehow this episode flew by. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to everyone for joining us. It was a blast to be with you and have these conversations. And thank you for everyone calling in. But Brandon, let them know where they can find you.
You guys can find me, as always, at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Shout out to everybody that hung out tonight on Rumble. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Also, big shout out to Mary Morgan and Pop Culture Crisis for having me on the show today. Appreciate it. I basically sat there and argued with Tate Brown about Karens for like a half an hour, but it was good. Shout out to Tate. He's filling in for Brett this week, who just got married, so congrats to him and his wife, too. We'll see you when you get back, buddy. And as always, don't forget to stay weird. I will see you guys tomorrow. Shane, take it out of here.
Is what I'm seeing true? It's Renee's birthday. Happy birthday, Renee.
Shout out, Renee.
That's amazing. Happy birthday to you. And definitely congratulations to Brett and Olivia. That's amazing. I love to see it. Now have lots of kids and make the future even better. And thank you guys out there for tuning in. Thank you for following me over here from IRL. It was a really fun night. And you know where to find me online at Shane Cashman, talking about how Grok is 100,000 Indians typing really fast in a sweatshop. And there's fake clouds. And Grok lies about me and demonetizes me because it doesn't like what I say. But I'll say it anyway. But thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.